Welcome back. All right, we're working on we're working on assembling the condenser. Got the dryer bracket assembled, got the dryer mounted, and got the first line installed. It comes with some mineral oil lubricant for the O-rings. Instructions are a little vague on what's what, so you just kind of got to eyeball it and figure it out. We're going to figure out the next step. Okay, next step was to install this core support bracket. Bolts are a little bit of a pain. You got to reach through here to get this top one. The bottom one has two holes. This bottom one, it's not used per instructions. It's this top one. So all these cars aren't exactly the same. But so far I haven't ran any problems where I've had to really heavily modify anything as far as a bracket. So I think this is the instructions are based off of 1976. This is a 1977. Evidently the core support's just a little different, but there was a provision in the bracket that works for this 77. All right, figure out the next step. And yes, you leave this bracket loose, because we've got to snake this condenser in. I'm going to climb all the way in so I don't have to lean over, because some of you know I have a bad back. Upside down. Dummy goes like this. Snake in behind. Bracket. Like so. So there's studs on the other side of this. So I will finagle that into there, and then we'll tighten that bracket up. And get this lined up over here as well. All right, the next step, you gotta attach this bracket somewhere up in here, I believe, like that. So this condenser bracket goes to the back side. This is a support bracket for a hose, I believe. That goes to the front. All right, so I've got this this line right here that's got to go through this hole right here and gets threaded onto the output of the receiver dryer, which is also fun to get through. Well, this grommet is tighter than Dick's hat band, and had to use a little oil and this plastic trim tool to shoehorn it over the nut in the pipe. This, you can see how tight it is onto that pipe. Imagine how tight it is going across that nut. So a little tip, if you're doing that, get you some of these plastic trim tools. Any auto parts store should have them, or you can get them online. They're very handy. Keep from scratching things, keep from tearing things. I've been using them for years and years. All right, we're gonna try to snake this pipe through and attach it to that condenser. And that's how you install a condenser. Vintage air kit. She's in. Got all her lines, her dryer, all the brackets are tight. Installed these lines. Little hold downs installed. I was wrong when I was showing you about the grommet. This line does not go through that hole. It's the smaller line. And it's a lot easier to get that grommet across that smaller line. But my tip remains, because if you needed to get that grommet across that bigger line, that trim tool will help you for sure. But it wasn't quite necessary. Glad I didn't rip the grommet, because I was using the wrong line to go through that hole. Stuck it through and tried to route it over to the dryer, and was like, this doesn't reach. So anyway, I thought it was funny, so I'm not gonna edit that out. I'm gonna leave it for your entertainment. All right, we've got to install the switch. It's our binary pressure switch, and yes, it goes on the condenser, or on the AC evaporator dryer, which is off the condenser, down in that hole. Probably would have been a lot easier if they would have said, I should have known better anyway, but I should have mounted the switch before all that. Although I can get to it pretty easy, so it shouldn't be bad. And these things just kind of spin on and snug up. You got a little O-ring on them. Of course, you lube all your O-rings. So it won't be too bad. I'm gonna go ahead and install that real quick. The rest of this stuff, probably these are going to be for making up the lines, the other ends of these lines. Two of those are heater hose, two of them are AC lines, and you use a crimp tool, which I own one for building AC lines. So we'll crimp those on at a later date, because we don't know exactly how it's ran yet. I got to get the engine in and all the accessories on to know exactly where the compressor lies. I need to get the inner fender back in. We have just absolutely got a ton of work. I keep saying we, it's just me. That's why it's taking so long, guys. I know some of you that have been following this project, and of course you, bud, that owns the car, Mr. Robert. I apologize it's taking so long on this project. Things in life just creep up and get in my way constantly. My poor dog got ran over last week. Man, that has really slowed me down. Rain slows me down, even though I'm in a shop, but when you're doing stuff outside, blah, 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 man, it just snowballs when you're a solo guy. If you have a team, it's a lot easier, because you can keep people working while you're handling all the details, customers, getting parts for cars like the El Camino, the Trans Am, the Charger. Have not been easy lately with the COVID deal. Everything's slow, waiting on parts for forever. I got the master cylinder off of this. I'm waiting for a master cylinder. I did get one. If you're following the El Camino build, I did get one, a Corvette style with a factory GM proportion valve, and it's in this box here. And I'm either going to send it back or sell it or put it on the shelf. I decided not to run it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but I decided to go with a Willwood master cylinder because it's lighter, and I wanted an adjustable brake proportion valve. So that video will be coming up soon. A few days. I should get the parts in a few days. And this thing's been a pain in the butt, because it's supposed to be my daily driver, and it's just been a waiting game on parts. Start to really put a damper in our situation, because all we have, and I sold my dually, so all we have is that Suburban and this El Camino. That's it. So this thing not being able to drive has really put a damper on things. All right, guys, we appreciate you watching. I'm gonna screw that bad boy on there. We're waiting on putting the interior back together, because I cut these too short. These are pretty flimsy, and I got online and looked around, and I ordered some off Amazon. This is really stiff, and the inside diameter is just a little bit bigger. than this is, so it doesn't want to stay on. So that was a waste. Waited several days for that, because this hose goes to my center vents, and I can't put the dash back together or put the center console and the seats back in until I get that buttoned up. So I'm gonna run around in a little bit and see if I can't find some of this hose local. I don't know if any of the big box stores, they don't show it on their website, so I'm gonna go up to the store and see if I see anything. I'll put a little piece of that in my pocket and see. If not, there was another, I can order it from Vintage Air, or I can order it off Amazon. I did see the Vintage Air stuff on Amazon, but it was a lot more expensive, and it was like 20 feet or something. I didn't need 20 feet, I only needed like 3 feet. So I didn't want to spend like 30 bucks and be waiting another week for 2 feet of freaking hose. So hopefully I can source that local and go ahead and finish up the dash. I want to get that all buttoned up. Everything's plugged up. I got to figure out my wiring. We're going to be moving the battery to the trunk, so we've got to get some stuff. We're going to probably go with Hydro Boost on the brakes. So I'm going to go ahead and get the brake master cylinder and booster off of here, and go ahead and I'm going to pull the wiper motor off too, and go ahead and paint that section and get all this wiring off here and paint that stuff up. So I'm gonna go ahead and work on that today. We're gonna wrap this one up. Catch me in the next video. Should be coming up shortly on this car. As soon as I get this under hood stuff taken care of, we're gonna start focusing on dropping this LS3 in. If you don't remember what it looks like, she's still there. 525 horsepower, LS3. This car is gonna be a ripper, man. Can't wait. I think that about sums it up. Hey, if you hadn't hit the subscribe button, do me a favor and do that. Subscribe, hit the like. Hitting that like button lets YouTube know that people like this video, and it helps spread the video around, and which helps gain subscribers for me, which I'm still a microscopic channel trying to grow. Really want to grow, get bigger, so we can continue to do this out of this shop, and I don't have to go take a regular job. But we don't make any money off YouTube, so the goal is to try to make some money off YouTube and these videos eventually, and maybe gain some sponsorship eventually. That would be awesome. If any of you guys are out there, let me know. All right, guys. Catch me in the next one. Peace.